All right, so the RCB I feel is pretty crazy. Things are changing each month. New rules, new restrictions, and complete BS happening as we speak. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss five key residencies which are my top picks for this month, right? If you're willing to start something right away, then you should think about these five, and these are my top picks. Before I discuss the best ones, I wanted to touch upon should you even think about purchasing a passport? Now, it's very tempting. Unfortunately, the poor industry, and I say poor because some really horrible options out there, and there are only 10 or 11 countries that sell their passports. Half of them have pretty pathetic access. Some are absolutely shady, pure criminal business. When I say pure criminal business, in the past, a lot of criminals have obtained these passports. They're tainted solutions, so you're absolutely going to attract unnecessary attention. Your whole objective of getting the passport would turn on its head, right? So you got to be careful with a few programs. Overall, I think, and this is my personal opinion, right? Each one thinks differently, but I feel these are absolutely pathetic options in today's day and age. When do you get them? If you're a hobbyist, if you maybe a couple of residencies, if you're interested in a couple of residencies, maybe you can pair one of these passports with those residencies. Very limited use cases. Mostly it's hobby for 80% of the times. And I'm talking about the current times, right? In the past, no one knew about these options. It was conceptually an okay-ish deal. But today, every Tom, Dick, and Harry, the guy sitting at the border as well, those guys are pretty aware of what this whole thing is. The EU, the US has already put their net, not that they didn't have it already. The US already had stuff with the banks, instructions with financial institutions. The net was there, but now it's direct. Now they've directly contacted these countries, selling visa-free service to some of the European nations, not to the US, but the European nations. But long story short, everyone has fielded the net. Now let's jump into the second part of this video, which is important, which is real residencies, which lead to citizenship. Now, before we deep dive into the second topic, if you're new to this channel, make sure you turn on the bell notification and subscribe, because I share tips, tricks, hacks, analysis, and periodic updates, right? What happens this month might be completely different from what happens the next month. You want to be connected, you want to be on track, so make sure you subscribe. The first residency on my list, and I'm not going to discuss this in any order, but these are the top 5 picks if I had to pick one residency in this month. And as I said, these things change based on month to month, year to year. Options, scenarios, situations keep changing. It's not in any order. Just number 1 on my list is Guatemala, right? Now, this is a very useful option, very low threshold, $1,250 of income, qualifying income, and you can apply for Guatemala, get the residency. In 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. Residency requirements are very flexible. Each year, you got to renew this thing. Very easy, not a big deal. So this is an option. Who is this good for? This is good literally for anyone, because as I said, a flexible residency. So if you want to live in the country, you're most welcome. If you don't want to live in the country, then you have flexibility to work with. Again, the intention is don't try to commit any kind of mischief, right? You want to be on track with what you're claiming you're getting this for, right? So you want to be consistent with what you're telling immigration, but the residency doesn't have any specific minimum defined time frame to maintain. The second interesting option here is Chile. Now, Chile is a tough one, but the passport that you get at the end of the Chile residency is the best one, right? This is the best in Latin America. It gets you access to Canada, US, Australia, and pretty much all the countries that matter, all the dream countries, all the countries where you really want to be in, you get access with the Chile passport. This investment can never go wrong. So a temporary residency is the straightforward option. You can obtain this. And then you can convert this into a permanent residency in a couple of years. And then 3 years, you are looking at a Chile citizenship. You can apply for a Chile citizenship as long as you qualify. With Chile, there's no playing games. This is the best one. So you got to live in the country 6 months plus 1 day in each year on the permanent residency to qualify for citizenship. So that's the second one. This is the best passport that you can obtain. The third one is Paraguay. Now, Paraguay is good for someone who is looking for instant tax benefits. You strike a residency over here, and when I say residency, it's 6 months plus 1 day. You can avail a territorial tax base with the lowest taxes possible, right? 9%, 10% is not bad at all. Plus, it's a territorial tax situation. Issue with Paraguay, which I personally don't like. I'm mentioning this option because people like this. I personally don't like this much because you don't get citizenship, right? You get citizenship, but you don't get to keep it with all your nationalities. If you're Italian or if you are a Spain citizen, you could keep the Paraguay, but any other country does not have the treaty. So it's not the best option out there. But just because it has unique tax benefits, I would say Paraguay is in the mix. The next one on the list, I feel, is Argentina. Now, the biggest drawback with Argentina is you can't renounce the citizenship, but who cares, right? Some people don't care, some people do. I personally care about citizenships that I cannot renounce. So if I don't want this, I want to get rid of it, right? So a lot of people will think one way. Some people don't care because they don't want to renounce to begin with. So in that case, then Argentina makes sense because it is a hot, solid passport. You can get a lot of stuff done with an Argentinian passport. And this is one of the fastest citizenships that you can acquire. So you're talking about a couple of years in Argentina, and then you can apply for citizenship. Obviously, you want to have a temporary residency in the country. You need that in order to then naturalize. You can't be on a visitor visa and then naturalize, right? That's not advisable, right? You don't want to play games. You want to get the proper residency, a temporary residency at least, and there are multiple avenues. And my channel is all about different avenues. If you've missed my videos on Argentina, you can go back and check the videos. But the long story short is live there a couple of years, and then you apply for citizenship, pick up the passport, and then you have a rock-solid passport. You get Mercosur access, so you can float around in the region. So this is not a bad option for this month. If you want to get started, Argentina is not that bad. It's a pretty interesting. It's actually a good option. If you have a child in Argentina, you're looking at an immediate citizenship. If you're married in Argentina, then again, it comes with its own unique benefits, unique advantages. You can apply for citizenship. So it's a very interesting option. The other interesting option, and I don't talk a lot about this, and I personally am very interested and keenly looking at this, is Bolivia. I absolutely love Bolivia. What I don't like is that it has some very limited options, limited scenarios. It's possible, but again, the options are not wide open, right? And this is not for everyone. This is for specific individuals. It is based on your culture, is based on the protections that you're looking for, where Bolivia fits in. And I have had private chats, private conversations with clients who come up with specific use cases where Bolivia makes a lot of sense. I personally love the country. I'm in touch with a lot of Bolivians, attorneys, and other people in Bolivia. The options are limited, but once you get this, believe me, this is a beautiful, beautiful plan B option. The next on the list, if you want to get started this month, is Mexico. It's always on the list. It is a hot, hot, hot favorite. It's a green passport. It's the best passport, right? It's the best in North America. It's stronger than Canada and the US because of its APEC privileges. If you've missed my important video on APEC, go back and watch that video. You'll uncover the true potential of the APEC privileges. 19 countries, business access, not visa-free, business access. You can't go wrong. So APEC, you're always on track. With Mexico, you get access to APEC. It's a full member, unlike US or Canada. And let's say Latin America is not your thing. Then there are two other options that you can check outside. Mauritius, Serbia. Mauritius, if you're interested in taxation. Serbia, if you're interested in citizenship diversification, right? You're an American, you're a Britisher, You're an Australian. You want something unique. You want something discreet. You want something diversified. Serbia is the place to be. It's not Russia. It's not Belarusia. It's Serbia. So that's where I think it becomes very unique. And if at all you're looking at something specifically in Asia, my personal favorite pick is Cambodia. Again, this is subject to affordability, right? Not everyone can afford a 305 in property in Cambodia, but if you can afford a 305k in property, you're not looking for access because let's say you're an American or an Australian or from any good country, any strong country, or let's say a country with a strong passport, then you want a Cambodia, right? You don't want another Australia. You want something different. So in that sense, Cambodia makes sense. Africa's, if you want an immediate citizenship, Egypt is there, but Egypt is going to create some hassle. It's not the best passport. But let's say if you want a citizenship, then I think at least Egypt is much better than some of the Caribbean options out there. Caribbean options are good in theory, but when you start using them at the banks, when you start using them at the airports, you got to be mindful of the reputation, right? Right? You don't want to be on paper. You want to be in reality. In reality, think about how things work. They work slightly differently. Anyways, I hope you found this content insightful, interesting. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subbed. And if you want to discuss specifically what's the best one out there for you, right? You got to pick one. You got to pick one. You got to pick two. Good options to get started. The options of your life, right? That gets you maximum happiness, gets you maximum bang for the buck, gets you maximum security, gets you maximum protection. Then click this link, right? Book a call. We can discuss what is the best option. Get you started with the best option of your choice. We have attorneys in most of the places that we talk about, the best attorneys that we work with. We can get you the option that you're looking for. And if you are interested in looking at all the citizenships that you can start right now based on your criteria, you can hop onto this one. This talks about 16 citizenship options that you can qualify for right now. Catch you in this one.